Ravi wanted to start a business, and for that he needed 10,000 rupees. But he had only 5,000 rupees with him. So he decided that he will invite Sam, one of his friends. Now, Sam agreed to invest in the business, but he had only 3,000 rupees with him. So in total, they had 8,000 rupees, but they needed 10,000 rupees, right? So they invited two more friends. Now both of these friends had 1,000 each, which they could invest in the business. So together they had 10,000 rupees with which they could start the business. So all of them became partners. But all of them are not investing the same amount. If you see, this 10,000 rupees was invested by four people: Ravi, Sam, Raju and Sanjay. Now, Ravi invested 5,000 rupees, Sam invested 3,000 rupees, Raju invested 1,000 rupees and Sanjay invested 1,000 rupees. Now, each of them invested different amounts. So, the control in the company, or if you say the profit which will come from the company, cannot be divided equally among them, because each one of them has invested different amounts. So they should get different amounts of profits. So for example, if we talk about Ravi, he invested 5,000 rupees, and if we talk about Raju, he invested 1,000 rupees. So obviously Ravi invested more, so definitely he should have more share in the business. Now everybody invested different amounts, so how much should each of them get? How can that be decided? Now the mathematics can be pretty daunting. So what they did was, they divided this amount, the starting total amount, into equal parts, small equal parts. So how many parts? 100 parts, and each part was of value rupees 100. So 100 times is 10,000, right? 100 such parts were divided, and now these parts could be purchased by each partner. So according to investment, you can purchase more parts. For example, Ravi had 5,000 rupees, so he could easily purchase 50 parts of this particular amount. 100 rupees into 50 is 5,000 rupees, isn't it? So he can actually purchase 50 parts of valuation 100 rupees each. So Ravi purchased 50 parts of this particular business or company, you can say. Similarly, Sam invested 3,000 rupees, so it's 30. He can purchase 30 parts with 3,000 rupees, because each part costs 100 rupees. So 30 into 100 is 3,000. So he got 30 parts. Similarly, Raju and Sanjay got 10 parts each. So this amount was divided into 100 equal parts, and each part had a valuation of 100 rupees. And according to the amount you are investing, you will get according parts of the company. So this is how any particular amount which is invested to start a company is divided between different partners according to their investment amounts. So in this case, we see different parts for different partners. So what are these parts? Well, these parts are called shares. So basically, when multiple people join together to form a company, they divide the estimated money required to start the company into small equal parts. As in their case, they divided into 100 equal parts of 100 rupees each. And each such part is called a share. So each part whose valuation is 100 rupees in this case is a share of the company. So this is how any company which is started is divided into shares. That is, its valuation is broken down into parts. For example, in this case, they started with 10,000 rupees. So 10,000 rupees was broken into multiple equal parts. Now this 10,000 can be 10 million, 10 billion, and every time it will be broken down into smaller parts, and each part will have a valuation. And whoever invests money will be able to buy those many parts according to the amount of money that person is investing. So in this case, Ravi is investing 5,000 rupees. So he got 50 shares of the company. Similarly, Sam invested 3,000 rupees. He got 30 shares of the company. And Raju and Sanjay got 10 shares each of the same company. So according to the amount invested, they got their shares in the company. So amount of shares will depend on the amount of money you are investing. So you are basically purchasing those shares according to the value decided by the company. In case of Ravi and friends, it's 100 rupees each. Now, each person who purchases one or more shares is called a shareholder. So in this case, Ravi, Sam, Raju, Sanjay all have purchased shares of this particular company. So they are all shareholders, because whoever purchases shares, possesses one or more shares, is a shareholder of the company. So what did we learn about shares? Well, when multiple people join together to form a company, they divide the estimated money required to start the company into small equal parts, and each such part is called a share. And each person who purchases one or more shares is called a shareholder. So whoever holds share or purchases shares of a company is a shareholder. Now, a share may have a value of rupees 50, rupees 10, rupees 100, etc. What does this statement mean? This statement means that the value of share can be anything. It can be rupees 10, it can be rupee 1, or it can be 1 billion rupees. It will depend on the number of shares and value of shares decided by the company. So this amount can vary from company to company. It also depends on many other factors, for example, performance of the company. So this amount can vary. So it can be 10, it can be 1, it can be 20, it can be 20 million. It can be anything. It has to be decided by the company, and if you want to purchase share of that particular company, you will have to invest that particular amount for each share. Now, shares have two types of values. So right now we were talking about values. For example, it can be 10, it can be 20, it can be 50, but even this value is of two types. Now the first type is called nominal value. Now what is the meaning of nominal value? Nominal value is the original value of the share. For example, in case of Ravi and his friends, the original value of the share was decided to be rupees 100 each. So that was the nominal value of the share. So when original value of the share is decided, that particular value is the nominal value, the starting value of the share. Now this value always remains constant. So nominal value is always constant. So once decided, for example, in the case of Ravi and his friends, it was rupees 100. So nominal value will always remain rupees 100. Right now it's rupees 100. After 20 years, when the company will grow bigger, even then the nominal value of shares will still be rupees 100. And nominal value is also represented as NV, that is the short form of nominal value, NV, face value or printed value. So you can see any of these three terms are used in commercial mathematics. So somewhere you will see nominal value, in some places you may also see face value or printed value, but all the three mean the same. And if we try to write this in the form of a statement, it will be rupees 100 share of company A. So whenever you see such a statement, then you will understand that we are talking about nominal value. So this value rupees 100 here is the nominal value of share of company A. So whenever you have a statement rupees 100 share of company A or rupees 60 share of company A, we are talking about nominal value of that particular share. Now let's see what was the nominal value in case of Ravi and his friends. What have we seen? We have seen that these were the shareholders and these are the number of shares each shareholder holds. But what is the value of each share? That is constant for everybody, and that is rupees 100. They divided rupees 10,000 into 100 equal parts, and each part's valuation is rupees 100. So rupees 100 is the nominal value, because when they started the business, this is the value which was decided upon for each share. So this is the starting value, this is the face value, this is the printed value, or this is the nominal value of shares in this particular case. Now another value is market value. So apart from nominal value, a share also has a market value. Now this market value keeps on changing. It may be same as the nominal value in some cases, it may be more than the nominal value, it may be less than the nominal value, and it keeps changing from time to time. Basically it depends on the performance of the company. So when we talk about market value, it is the price of a share at any time. So at any point in time, what is the price of that particular share? That is, for example, Ravi and his friends started the company with 10,000 rupees. Now after 5 years, they did very good business. And now the company's valuation has increased a lot. Maybe their valuation right now is 10 lakh rupees. So obviously now they are more popular and more people would like to be part of their business. They would like to purchase shares of their company. So obviously now the valuation of their shares is much higher. They are no more selling it at rupees 100. They are selling it at much higher, maybe 150, 200, 300. It can be any value. So it will all depend on the performance of the company. Today it's 300. Tomorrow, if the performance is not good, it may come down to 150. If it is very bad, it may also come down to 90. So this value will keep on changing every day, because every day the company is performing, the performance is changing. Sometimes it's performing well, sometimes it's not performing so well. So the market value depends on the performance in the market, and that is why it's market value, and it keeps on changing from time to time. So it changes from time to time, and the market value is also represented as cash value, or its short form, that is MV. So whenever it's mentioned market value or cash value, it means the same. And if we write a statement, if we write it in the form of a statement, then it will be something like this. Rupees 100 share of company A sells at rupees 120. So here what do we see? Rupees 100 share of company A. This is talking about the nominal value, but it is selling at rupees 120 now. So this is what it is selling at right now. So this is the market value. This is the price of the share in the market currently. So rupees 120 is the market value and rupees 100 is the nominal value of the share, and this keeps on changing. That is, the market value will keep on changing from time to time. So now, can you answer this particular question? We have this statement here. Rupees 75 share of company A sells at rupees 90. Now, on the basis of this statement, can you answer this particular question? Market value of the share is rupees dash. Now, what is the market value of the share in this case? Rupees 75 share of company A sells at rupees 90. We are talking about market value, that is the current value of the share. Now, it is very clear from the statement that this particular part refers to the nominal value. This will remain constant. And what is it selling at right now? What price is it selling at right now? It is selling at rupees 90. So this is the price we are looking for. This is the market price of the share. So B is the correct answer. So we know that share has two types of values, nominal value and market value. Now, what if nominal value is same as market value? How do we write it, or how do we express it? Well, in this case, share is called at par. So whenever in the case of a share, nominal value is equal to market value, we say the share is at par. For example, if a rupees 100 share is selling at rupees 100, then we say that the share is selling at par because the nominal value and market value are same. Now, in some cases you will see that the market value has increased, that is, nominal value is smaller than market value, or market value is greater than nominal value. What do we say in this case? In this case, share is called at premium or above par. As we see that market value has increased, which is a good thing. So we say that share is at premium. Premium is always higher, better. So at premium or above par. It's above the nominal value. That's the basic value, par. So it's above par, right? So in this case, we say at premium or above par. For example, we have rupees 100 share sells for rupees 150. So in this case, share is selling at a premium of rupees 50 or at rupees 50 above par. So this 100 rupees share is right now selling at rupees 150, 50 above the nominal value, and that's why we say that share is selling at a premium of rupees 50 or rupees 50 above par. Now, what if nominal value is greater than market value? That is, market value has decreased. It has gone below nominal value. Then what do we say? Well, if we get something for less, we say we got a discount, right? Similarly, in the case of share too, share is called at discount or below par. So in this case, at discount or below par. Market value has gone below the nominal value. That's why it's below par. For example, rupees 100 share sells for rupees 92. So nominal value rupees 100. But what's the market value? It's lower than the nominal value, 92, 8 rupees lower. And that's why we say share is selling at a discount of rupees 8 or at rupees 8 below par. So as you saw, shares have two values, nominal value and market value. Nominal value is constant, it does not change, it's the starting value of the share. Market value will keep on changing according to performance of the company. So sometimes it will be pretty high, it will be at a premium. Sometimes you will find the valuation is below par. The share is selling for lower than the nominal value. And sometimes the nominal value is same as the market value. In that case, the share is selling at par. So these are some basic terminologies that are used in commercial mathematics, and if you know these, you can solve any particular sum related to shares. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. You can also register for free at deltastep.com to get all learning resources as per ICSE, CBSE, IB, Cambridge or any other curriculum. Over 5,000 amazing lectures across maths, science, English and social science. Our unique interactive video technology keeps you engaged, and our iDictionary feature allows you to quickly revise any concept. Master each topic at your own pace with our adaptive practice technology and 1 million plus questions. Get instant answers and detailed solutions. Be exam ready by taking unlimited mock tests, performance analysis along with actionable feedback, personal tutors to resolve your slightest of doubts. That's not all. You also get amazing prizes like PlayStations, iPads, watches, and many more, along with certificates through our Earn As You Learn program. So at deltastep.com, learning is not just fun and easy, it's rewarding too. So register for free now.